Forgot my microphone. We are dropping frames like crazy, and I do apologize. but you know how I like butts. Hi, how's it going? But we don't need to worry about that tonight because we actually we're not playing a video game tonight. So we actually are doing something very different tonight. Hi everybody. Hi, how's it going? I'm Nekotomoton. How you doing? I'm a boot boy. Let me put on some music here real quick. I don't know what's gonna play. It's always random. There we go. All right. So, I just wanted to do something simple tonight. I don't know how long we're going to be streaming, but my guess is a short time. We'll see. There's been a lot of jokes lately because I'm not even going to say an old VTuber because I'm not old. I'm not a teenager and I'm not in my early 20s either. So, how long have I been live? I've been live literally just like a minute, really. Not counting my intro music. I've only been live for maybe a minute. It's all right. Don't worry about it. You didn't miss anything. I'm just explaining what I'm doing tonight. I decided, like, since everybody thinks I'm like a million years old, I'm gonna I'm gonna do a tier list to prove how old I am. No, I'm not a teenager and I'm not in my early 20s either. And Twitch actually has rules against going into detail about your age because it will actually encourage very young people to reveal their age, and mean people will take advantage of that, and I don't recommend people do that. So rather than just, you know, come out and say it, we're going to just have fun with it. And you're here now? Good. We're glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. So what I'm going to be doing here tonight, we're going to be doing a tier list of Nickelodeon shows. And I'm taking a look at the list right now, and this sucks. I guess I should have looked at it a little harder. These people, whoever put this list together, literally put up some black squares sometimes because they didn't crop the image properly, so you can't even tell what the hell the show is. Huh. I guess there's going to be a lot of things I won't be able to go into detail about because I don't know what the hell they are, just because they didn't put up a good thumbnail for me. But, yeah. There's some I don't recognize just because they were after my time, so... But after we do tier list, I'm going to, maybe if we have time, I'll hop over to Akinator, possibly, and we'll try to make him guess some characters and stuff like that. People, persons, characters. All right, so, let's see here. I wish you could randomize this. Can you randomize this? No, just reset. So, man, I wish you could comment on this, actually, and actually let them know, like, why is it so weird looking? Shall be an interesting night with the Neko boy. We'll see. We'll see. I may talk too much, so I'm prepared. I brought some water. Give me a second. So, I checked out some of the free games that they were giving away on Epic, by the way, and not all of them really seem up my alley right now. Like, a lot of them are first person, so I would definitely need to be... I definitely need to be hydrated those days because I get very nauseous with first person games. But, I was looking at the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I've been informed it has lots of licensed music inside of it, so I'm not too sure if you'll be able to turn that off for stream. Like, maybe there's a stream mode, so you can turn it off, hopefully, but I guess we'll find out. And also Saints Row. I really want to play the new Saints Row. I've heard that, like, again, I want to put it out there that I don't trust anybody who uses the term woke to describe a poor game. You automatically have disqualified yourself as a trustworthy source, and you're probably going to get kicked out of my life forever if you ever use that term, and in a negative connotation. But yeah, I've been looking at some of those. I looked at Escape Academy. That is going to kill me. That is, like, if you guys remember me doing the little RPG Maker puzzle games and stuff like that, this is a whole nother level. That looks so hard. I'll actually, and the other ones are pretty serious games, so I'm not too sure how they'll be. We'll check them out. We will check them out. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna drink some Wawa. And I see we are dropping frames like crazy tonight, which is just fine because we are not doing a video game tonight, so you can just listen to my dulcet tones. The Saints Row game has been amusing so far. Cool. Very cool. I want to give it a shot. How detailed is the Create-A-Player inside of it? Because I love Create-A-Player. I love anything where you can make your own characters and stuff. And also, can you design their junk, their genitalia? Because I need to know that in case I stream it. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know if you can still get in trouble on Twitch for showing video game balls, but like, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I'm looking at these shows. I don't recognize really any of them. Pretty detailed. I like how my character looks like me mostly, and the genitals are always blurred out, actually. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, that means I can play it, actually. And it'll be fun actually creating a player, so. Whew. Okay, so we are going to get started early. Here we go. We're gonna hop on over. Should I shrinky dink down for this? I think I should. And I don't really need to bring my keyboard down today, so. In fact, people are angry that the genitals are always being blurred. They've been spoiled. They've been spoiled by, what's it called? Cyberpunk. And Baldur's Gate. You need to remember Baldur's Gate. More like Baldur's Gate. Yeah. Let's hop on over. Boop. Yeah, I think I'll turn on my top and bottom so you guys don't have to stare at my URL and stuff. Boop. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So, this is Tier Maker. I didn't put this together. Someone else did. And I don't want to show who put it together because I don't really like this list. And I don't want to poop on somebody's hard work. This may have been their only option, and I don't want to pick on anybody. So, this is a Tier Maker list of Nickelodeon shows from 1990 to 2010. 100% transparency. I was kind of done watching Nickelodeon around maybe like 2005, 2006. And every now and then I would catch maybe iCarly or something. I thought that was kind of funny from time to time until the sense of humor of it all just really was pukish and stupid. This will be interesting. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's get started, shall we? So, our choices are a must-watch, really good, I could miss it, horrid, and never watched it. I actually think there's going to be a lot in here, so I will say right now I haven't seen most of these. Then you're in luck. I'll explain them. That's always fun to have somebody explain things to you, right? All right. 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowell. This was a cool show. I don't care what anybody says. This came out maybe around 2000, 2001. 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowell was a show about this little thug teenager who gets turned into a really cute Australian shepherd. And he befriends this little boy who he would always pick on, and he has to live with him, and he can't turn back into a human until he commits 100 good deeds. I think the original idea was they were going to make 100 episodes or maybe more, because I think there were some episodes where he didn't do anything. He didn't manage to do the good deed. But it ended. It ended before they could finish it. And to my knowledge, I think they got a special movie or something where he just magically got a ton of good deeds done and you missed them. And like, I think they may have ended it. But I liked this show. I liked the dog. The dog was cute as shit. And I just like the idea of this like older teenager living with this young kid, and like their dynamic. I thought it was really cute at the time. Could you tell I would grow up to be a shipper? 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowell. For me, it's an interesting concept. Yeah, it's cool. Yo, how's it going? Ovavik? So I thought this was cool. I thought it was cool, but I have to say, I missed out on it a few times. I don't know what that means, bruh. Sorry about that. Nope, don't know what you're talking about. And let's see here. I think this is really good because I missed out on it a lot. I actually did. So, Clarissa explains it all. A lot of people, when you talk about Melissa Joan Hart, they automatically think about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I, in particular, whenever I hear Melissa Joan Hart, I think of this. Clarissa explains it all. It's basically this girl, and she just lives with her weird family, and it's just the dynamics of growing up as a teenager and stuff like that. And this, in particular, this was... I know for a fact my parents hated this show. They hated this show. They thought Clarissa was so annoying, but I actually liked it. And I'm pretty sure I've watched every episode of this several times over. I really liked it. So I'm going to say Clarissa is really good. But it's very interesting that a lot of people only know about Clarissa through Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Because I never watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I watched it a few times, actually, but... Oh gosh, her brother was horrible in it. Ferguson. That was his name, Ferguson, or Ferg Nerd. He was so bad. He was like Frasier if he was a little kid. But in real, they were friends in real life though, so they knew how to act. They were great That's one thing. They were great actors in those days. I have no clue what terrible name for a terrible person. Yeah, they went out of their way for that. They went Ferguson W. Darling. I don't remember what W stood for, but Ferguson W. Darling was his last. Yeah, Clarissa's last name was Darling. Yeah, a lot of people don't remember that. Cool fact, the dude who played Clarissa's dad, he was maybe in his 30s or 40s when that show was filmed. I saw him in a commercial only maybe a year ago, and he's still playing a dad. He looks exactly the same. He has not aged a day, and he's still playing like a dad to like teenagers and stuff in commercials. So bravo to him, and he's still getting work. I have no clue what the hell this is. Is this Doug? Is this the Doug logo? Hold on a second. Is Doug in here? I don't see Doug. So I guess this is Doug. I don't remember the logo looking like this. That's weird. Okay. Doug. And we're talking Nickelodeon Doug here, not Disney Doug. Melissa Joan Hart can be a decent actress with the right director and story. She's underrated in my opinion. Yes, very much. Very much. Similar to Hilary Duff, actually. She actually kind of has a very similar career to Hilary Duff. Like, very tragedy-free. Doug? Doug is a must-watch for me. And actually, I don't know why I put Clarissa here. I'm going to put Clarissa in must-watch as well. You've seen Hilary Duff act very well in movies. Yes. Yes, she's a good actress. Doug, I can't even begin to describe how great Doug was. Like, it's so simple, but it's not over the top. And the thing is, if you want to know how to create a great show and how to create a terrible show, watch Doug for the great show. Watch Doug made by Disney to watch a terrible show with terrible character development, terrible character traits, terrible everything. You remember Doug briefly too? I'm very surprised you don't remember Doug, because I watched the shoot out of Doug. I love Doug. Doug was... You want to talk about how ahead of its time Doug was? It had an episode where he gained weight, and he was struggling with his self-image about being heavy. And by the end of the episode, he loses a bunch of weight, but he looks in the mirror and he still looks the same to himself. And it's dealing with body dysmorphia. And to not only have a show dealing with body dysmorphia in the 90s, a kid's show, but for it to also be starring a boy? Like, forget it, man. You couldn't make something like that anymore. I loved this show. This show was so good. It was on TV at random times. Yes, it was. It was on random times. Especially when it got older. It was maybe on weekends or something like that. So, Kenan and Kel. Kenan and Kel was hilarious. It's so stupid. I believe it's made by Snyder, so it has kind of that randomosity to it where it's like so random. It's just, that's the laugh, you know, that is the punchline, that it's so stupid and random. Very well thought out, actually, and we need more representation of how males struggle with self-confidence too. Yes, and there was a lot of episodes like that actually, where Doug is just dealing with self-confidence. He's not a bad kid, but he's just normal. He's so out of this world humdrum that he has no faith in himself. And I love it. He's like Charlie Brown, but not tragic. Kenan and Kel. Kenan and Kel was the first time I ever really experienced anxiety watching a show. That's one thing. It is a situation comedy, sitcom, to the point where it's just, they get into these ridiculously heart-pounding, weird situations where it just makes you nervous. Like they scheme and plot and they almost get caught. Like the theme song. They're kind of in the middle because they're always getting caught. This was a good show. It was silly. I liked it. It was a must-watch. It was indeed a must-watch. I don't know what the hell this is. This is an W. What the hell is that? What the hell is this, bro? Like, I don't know what the hell that is. Like, get your shit together. All Real Monsters. So, I watched a lot of All Real Monsters, but to be 100% honest, it was a little boring. It was a little boring. You thought Kel was cute, actually? Oh my god. Because he liked orange soda, man. He liked orange, and he enjoyed ham in the first episode. He enjoyed ham, and he liked orange soda. Who wouldn't like a guy who likes orange soda? He's cuter in Good Burger with the dreads. Oh god, Ed. That's his character, Ed. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. You never saw that movie yet. You need to. I love Good Burger. I don't care what anyone says. That movie's good. That is a good, funny movie. Oh, I burped. Sorry. All Real Monsters. You know what actually kind of detracted from All Real Monsters for me? It was two things. They never set up how the science of their world works. They would just suddenly introduce it. And that would be the plot of the episode. Like, there'd be an episode where the main characters... All Real Monsters you remember very well and liked. Ooh, cool. All Real Monsters would have this episode where the main character, Ickis, they'd be outside eating garbage. Monsters love garbage. Nom, nom, nom. And he would find an acorn. And he'd be like, ooh, an acorn. And Oblina would be like, now, you know what the Grumble says about eating things that come from trees. And it's like, they never introduced that before. And then he eats it anyway, and he turns into a tree. And you liked Oblina? Yes, I loved Oblina. It's awful, simply awful. Awful? No, I wouldn't call it awful. All Real Monsters, I'm going to say, was really good. Along with its kind of, bad world building, I didn't like the animation 100%. I never really cared for the animation, but... Oh, and there was an episode where they had these girls at a slumber party, and they were trying to explain to the other girl what a record was. And they were like, yeah, our parents used to listen to these things called weckers, and they were made of oil, and they would just spin around and make music. And they're like, wow, let's play it. And it played this music that went, it was like an old 50s doo-wop sound, and it went like, shooby-dooby-doo-doo-doo, shooby-dooby-doo-doo-doo. And I have looked for years for that song, because when the episode was over, they played it over the credits. And they played a whole version of it. And I have looked high and low for that episode, and I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. And I don't want to sit through 90 plus episodes of, I think there was like maybe 70 to 80 episodes of this. And if it truly matters to me, I think I'll find it again someday. Remember me telling you about that? Never saw the episode? Yeah, I remember it. I also remember, here's something. Time for Boomer Neko moment. Boomer Neko moment. Boomer Neko moment alert. I remember the night All Real Monsters debuted. And it didn't debut, is the thing. They showed the pilot episode, which was just basically test footage. It was basically test footage of the first episode you would eventually see. And Ickis had glasses in it originally. And they were going to play kind of a part, like he'd get his glasses knocked off and stuff like that, and he wouldn't be able to see and stuff. And they only showed maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes of it. And then when it finally debuted, they just spliced that test footage with the first episode. And nobody ever talked about it. And it pissed me off so much because nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. And I was like, that's not what happened! That's not what happened! All Real Monsters was good. Really good. Alex Mack. So, sorry. I want to say that Alex Mack was, decent enough that I actually watched it. You've had moments like that with many things. Yeah. Alex Mack was decent because the story kind of kept you hooked. It's about a girl who goes into a science facility. Not a nuclear power plant necessarily, but a science facility. And she gets blown up and kind of like irradiated. And she comes out and she has powers. The powers in general are that she can melt into like liquid metal. And she has electricity that can shoot out of her fingers and stuff like that. And it's basically the adventures of her trying to keep it secret. Now, the thing is about Alex Mack is that it's one of the most successful arcs I've ever seen in a Nickelodeon show. It sounds like a horror movie or a superhero movie. She was kind of like a superhero movie, but our superhero character, but I think it played too much. It played way too much into the fact that she's a preteen. So she's trying to keep secrets. And you know, those preteen girls, they love their secrets. And how would you feel? Would parents understand? What if they take you into the science facility and turn you into a lab rat or something? And that's all they would ever say. Like, there was never true danger to it all. It was just that there's this mean, mysterious guy who sends out his henchmen who try to capture her. And they never truly describe why they're scared of him. It's just, I don't want to get caught. They'll turn me into a lab rat. It's like, there's no evidence of that, hon. There's no evidence of that. But I will say it was a very successful show in the fact that it went from episode 1 to the final episode. And it ended on a cliffhanger. Not in the sense that it was an unfinished story, but in the sense that it let you decide what her choice was. She has a cure or something, an antidote, and then it just ends. You get to decide in your own mind, did she take it, or did she continue living her life with her special powers and use them to help people? That being said, hold on a second, what'd I do? Sorry. That being said, it was good. It was really good. You think that plays on the fact that children are afraid of what if situations, like getting caught by strangers. Yeah, it definitely had the I don't trust grown-ups aspect to it, which is something. Here's another thing. You can't do that shit in children's entertainment anymore. You cannot portray adults as bad guys anymore, especially parents. That is something you can't get away with anymore. Shows back in the 90s and early 2000s, they allowed you to question authority. And shows nowadays, hell no. You're not allowed to do that. Allegra's Window. This was a Nick Jr. show, wasn't it? It had a puppet. It had a little purple puppet girl. Even though parents sometimes are, but we won't get into that. Yeah, indeed. Allegra's Window was a puppet, right? Hold on a second. I don't want to search for it on stream. Hold on a second. Let me hop over here. Allegra's Window. Yep. Allegra's Window. Hold on. This. Allegra's Window was an American musical children's television series that aired on Nickelodeon during the Nick Jr. block. October of 1994 to 1996. It was on way longer than that. Reruns until 99. Yeah. They're shown on Noggin until 2003. I think this was made by this same guy who made Doug, actually. Jim Jenkins, I think, made this. I think. You remember seeing that, but never watch it? Me either. It was for babies. It was for babies. I don't want to watch it. I actually never watched it. I never watched it. So. All grown up, horrid. Frickin' horrid. We're going to skip over that. The less said, the better. All grown up, horrible. 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 God-awful horrible. Jeez. All that. Now. All that had its moments. But it is what happens when you give Snyder a skit show. And it is as random as humanly possible and stupid and not funny, but the fact that it's so absurd is the comedy behind it. That being said, I could miss it. I could miss it. I could miss it. It introduced a lot of our favorites. It introduced Keenan and Kel. It introduced the Good Burger skits. It introduced, geez, that's about it. Super Dude. Super Dude. The old man character, the coach, I forget his name, played by Kel. And of course, it introduced Amanda Bynes, which a lot of people love Amanda Bynes, but I never cared for her. It had its moments, yes, and also you don't like Drake Bell. Was Drake Bell in all that? What? Drake Bell was on all that? Was this like the later all that's, like when they brought it back in the early 2000s? Wait, real? What? What? Hold on a second. Yes, he was. What? What? Drake Bell, all that. Come on, come on. Character. How about Drake Bell, all that characters? What? I don't see anything. I'm not seeing anything. They're not showing anything he played in the, like a character. This must have been after I stopped watching it or something. I don't remember Drake Bell being in all that. But then he went on to do Drake and Josh Show. He was in a few episodes with Amanda Bynes. Yeah, I remember when Amanda was in it, but I'm not seeing anything. Like, people are saying, yeah, he was in all that, but they're not showing any of his characters or skits. He must have just been a background character, like just a straight man or something. Like he had no characters. God, he's been acting a long time. Yeah, I didn't know that. He was forgettable, that's why. I do not remember Drake Bell being in all that. That is cray-cray. So, As Told by Ginger. As Told by Ginger, I'm going to say it right now, was really good. That being said, I think a lot of us know this who grew up with As Told by Ginger. They never showed episodes. They would show the same episode over and over and over again. They would show Of Lice and Friends over and over again. And then you later find out there were tons of episodes made that they just refused to air. And I think it was just... So this was after a lot of, like, controversy. This came out around the time, like, a lot of, like, shows were getting censored. And I think they cracked down on As Told by Ginger because it was just too grown up, I think. Like, I think there were probably some elements to it that were really serious. Like, I know there was an episode where one of her friend's grandmother dies, and having to help her friend go through mourning and stuff, and there was a lot of like coming of age stuff. A lot of coming of age stuff. You do remember this? It was stunted from being more popular than what it was. Yes, it could have been pretty big. I liked it. And I also, a big thing that drew me to it, other than the fact I was the same age as Ginger just about, was the fact that the characters wore different clothes. They never wore, like, they would wear the same clothes every now and then, but they didn't have a signature outfit. You know, like in Doug, when, like, everybody wears the same outfit. So, like, there's always that joke. They open the closet and they have the same outfit. Like, there's just tons of green vests for Doug. As told by Ginger, they wore different outfits every episode. And that was always cool to me. That was always so cool to me. What in the hell is this? Oh, Back at the Barnyard. Never watched. Never watched Back at the Barnyard. I know people, like, kind of grew up with this. This was right after... This was a Jimmy Neutron spinoff, actually, I believe. At least they had characters in it from Jimmy Neutron. But I never watched it. The animation was just so bad, I couldn't really get past it. Big Time Rush, never watched it. Blue's Clues. So, I don't want to say I would hate watch Blue's Clues, because that would imply that I hated Blue's Clues. I didn't hate Blue's Clues. But Blue's Clues came out at the time where I started discovering, hey, I can be funny. I can be funny. So I rarely watched Blue's Clues with serious intent in my heart. I would always watch Blue's Clues to make fun of it. Always. So, like, anytime they would ask a question, I would say the opposite and stuff like that. And it's like, did you see that? And it's like, no. I'm such a badass. So, you have fond memories of watching Blue's Clues, especially with your great-grandmother, actually. Cool. A lot of people do. This was a lot of people's earliest memories, was Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues. But here's the thing. I have to be honest. It was a Nick Jr. show. I was a grown-up. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy, and I watch big boy shows. So I could miss it. Plus, I was at school whenever it was on, so... You lost track of Blue after you got into Pokemon. Ooh. So if there was no Pokemon, would you have been a Blue's Clues stan? Oh my gosh. Alternate realities. Blue's... I don't know what this is. Blue's Dom? Blue had a Dom? What is Blue's... Blue's Room. Blue's Room. Okay. Never watched it. Maybe, but they also changed the host a million times. They changed the host 4 times, I think. Yeah, and I know a lot of people stopped watching after Steve left, so... Cat dog, cat dog. So, I'm gonna drink some Wawa. 1 second. So, Cat Dog. Cat Dog was, it was kind of hit or miss. I'll be 100% honest. Cat Dog, hold on a sec. Cat Dog was when I first started getting into voice acting, by which I mean I started impersonating characters, and I started actually looking up, who's the voice of this character? Who's the voice? And I discovered guys like Jim Cummings and, Billy West and, oh shoot. I better stop because I'm gonna show how bad I am at remembering things. But some of the episodes were pretty bad, to be 100% honest. They were like just kind of generic slop for kids to watch at some points. And frankly, there were some really gross episodes. Like the episode where dog befriends a cockroach was freaking disgusting. I hated that episode. That episode made me literally physically ill. And then, like, let's not even pretend that the cat dog movie didn't happen. You want to talk about a movie where literally it felt like a million chimpanzees slamming on typewriters made that movie. That was one of the worst experiences of my childhood ever, watching the cat dog movie. That was horrid. Absolutely horrid. That being said, Cat Dog was really good. Cat Dog was really good. What the hell is this? Cat Scratch. Does anybody remember Cat Scratch? Does anybody remember Cat Scratch? Cat Scratch, I specifically remember. So Cat Scratch came out in the early 2000s. Maybe a little bit after like Jimmy Neutron and stuff. It was a 2D animated show. You've never heard of Cat Scratch. Interesting. Cat Scratch was actually heralded for a brief while. They said, this is it. This is the next hit Nicktoon, in case you're wondering. This, forget your SpongeBob, forget your Rugrats, forget it all. Cat Scratch is where it's at. This is going to be the next big Nicktoon. So you better be ready. I think it lasted one season. And I think, actually, they stopped showing it mid-season and just moved it to like 7 a.m. in the morning. Cat Scratch was about 3 cats that don't look like cats, so don't even bother thinking that it's cute. It's not cute. Who get bequeathed like millions of dollars from their dead owner. And it's basically just the misadventures they have spending that money. Most of the shows you won't have seen after the 90s because you were into Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! For the rest of your life. I'll try my best to explain them to you. Cat Scratch, here's a big thing. Cat Scratch, one of the cats was voiced by Kevin McDonald, who is one of my favorite character actors. You may know him as the voice of Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch. And he was in, where I knew him the best from was The Kids in the Hall, which was a Canadian comedy sketch show. So, and he was voiced by, his name was Mr. Waffles. And, no, his name was just Waffle, I believe. Waffle. And, yeah. He's a good actor and a good voice actor, yet. Mute! And, the boss cat of it all, I think his name was Mr. Blick. He was voiced by, Newman from Seinfeld. You know, the guy who gets eaten by the, spoilers, gets eaten by the, spitting dinosaur in Jurassic Park. What's his name? Black? Michael Black? Maybe that's why his name was Blick, because he was a black cat. What was that guy's name? I forget his name. The big guy with glasses. That being said, Cat Scratch, Wayne Knight, that was his name, Wayne Knight. I thought his name was Wayne Black. Wayne Knight, yeah, was the voice of him. And those are kind of the only recognizable voices in it, was like Kevin McDonald and Wayne Knight. But, that being said, there's a reason it didn't really succeed, unfortunately. I could miss it. How do you mess up a show about cats, man? I tell you, it could have been so much better. But Chalk Zone. So I never watched Chalk Zone, and I want to tell you why. Because Nickelodeon held a fake contest, and I knew it was fake, is a thing. They held a fake contest where they said, send in your ideas to us, kids, with your characters, your designs, everything, and it's going to become the next Nicktoon. And then a month later, they debuted all of these pilot episodes. Chalk Zone was gone quickly, it seemed. You remember it, but you never actually saw it. Yeah. Actually, I think it was on a little while, but yeah, maybe about 2 or 3 years. But the thing is, not even a month later, they had all these pilot episodes, and they were showing it on a special weekend. You send in your ideas, and we turn them into cartoons. Check them out. And right away, even as a little kid, I was like, something's wrong here. That isn't how animation works. What are you talking about, Nickelodeon? And then at the end of the weekend, they announced our brand new show sent in by one of you is Chalk Zone. And I was like, wait a minute. And they already had episodes ready to go. And I was like, that's not how animation works, Nickelodeon. What are you trying to pull? What are you trying to pull? And yeah. So I had a vendetta against Chalk Zone. So I never watched it. Cousin Skeeter. Weird show. Weird show. Could have been pretty big, actually, I feel. Cousin Skeeter was a sitcom show. It was a multicam sitcom show. So it wasn't... It was kind of lame in the sense it wasn't filmed in front of a live audience. It was recorded, and then they put a laugh track over it. And like, I always found those kind of lame. I didn't like those. Because I'm like, who's laughing? Who's laughing? And it was about this annoying cousin who moves in with this kind of uptight family. And he's a puppet. And they never make mention of it. They never make mention that he is a puppet. And that's the comedy of it. And did you ever hear the rumors behind Cousin Skeeter, why Cousin Skeeter got canceled? It's bullshit, though. I want to preface it with, I am not stupid enough to believe this is why. Cousin Skeeter, the urban legend is that Cousin Skeeter got canceled because they used the puppet on an episode of Figure It Out. And on Figure It Out, you remember it, but it didn't appeal to you, honestly. Yeah, my parents hated Cousin Skeeter. They hated it. They were like, I can't believe they put this garbage on TV. And maybe that's why I watched it a little bit. It was because, like, my parents hate it, so I like it. But the rumor was that on Figure It Out, if you got, like, questions wrong, or if you said the magic word, you'd get slimed. You'd get slime poured on your head from, like, 20 feet above. They did it to the puppet. They slimed the puppet. And the legend is the puppet was too expensive to replace. So they just canceled the show. That is bullshit. Do not believe that. That Nickelodeon has money to make foam puppets, okay? Don't. But that is not the reason why. But Cousin Skeeter, I could miss it. I could miss it. Danny Phantom. This is blasphemy, especially for a gay boy. Danny Phantom. Never watched it. I never watched Danny Phantom. I'm sorry. Stuff made by that particular creator. What was his name? I forget his name. He's a dickhead in real life. People hate him. He's like some weird born-again conservative now and shit. Remember it, didn't watch, didn't care. I didn't like his animation style. So I missed out on that. Dora the Explorer. So, Dora the Explorer is right up there with Blue's Clues, where, like, I could miss it. Like, there was a reason why I would miss it often. I was at school. Also, it's for babies. Who would want to watch that? What grown-up kid what a big tough kid who watches pro wrestling and listens to heavy metal? Who would watch that? Who would watch that? Really good. I liked Dora the Explorer. In particular, of course you know Dora, but would rather watch Amanda the Adventurer. I don't know, Amanda. But here's the thing. I liked Dora the Explorer, but the main reason I liked Dora was for Swiper. I loved Swiper the Fox. He was so cute. I loved Swiper the Fox. He was a bad guy, but I loved him. Isn't that typical? I would love a bad guy. Double Dare. Double Dare was cool. But I do have to say, I didn't care for it that much because you're all just waiting for the obstacle courses, you know? Yes, you like the fox? I bet you do. I bet you want... Never mind. You were always waiting for the obstacle courses, and the questions were always so stupid to get you to go to them and stuff, and I also didn't like the fact you had to be with your family and shit, so that's why I knew, like, I'm never gonna be on this show. But, I like Double Dare. Double Dare was entertaining. How about that? So, well, I could miss it. I could miss Double Dare. I could miss Double Dare. El Tigre. I don't know what El Tigre is. El Tigre? The tiger? Mini Aventura. I think that may be an exclusive of some kind elsewhere, so I never saw that. Eureka's Castle. Does anybody remember Eureka's Castle at all? Jim Henson? Eh? Jim Henson Company? Eh? Eureka's Castle. Here's the thing. I truly don't remember really. You heard of it in passing, but that's it. I truly don't remember really even a single episode. I remember a Christmas episode. I remember the theme song. And of course, I remember the characters. That being said, I'm hesitant to put it anywhere but really good. But I remember begging to watch Eureka's Castle. I loved Eureka's Castle. Eureka's Castle was so good. And I don't remember why. That's the thing. I don't remember why Eureka's Castle was good. That's how long ago this was. But yeah, I remember the theme song mostly. Eureka! Eureka's Castle.
Spice, salt, sour, sweet. Bring me something good to eat.
But, Fanboy and Chum Chum, I've heard about it, never watched it. I believe it was actually very heralded as a good show, so, but I don't remember it, and I never watched it, so. Figure It Out. Figure It Out was... Hold on a second, I'm gonna drink some Wawa. So Figure It Out was one of those shows that was both can't miss. You had, like, you'd get so caught up in it. And especially if you played along, like if you covered your ears and eyes at the beginning and you were trying to guess with them. But oftentimes it was such a letdown what the kids' talent was Figure It Out was where they would sit a panel of celebrities and just gonna lurk today, playing Baldur's Gate with friends. Excellent. Thank you, Deets. Thank you. If anybody's wondering, Deets streams as well. He may not be streaming right now, but hold on a second. Oh, I'm using the wrong... Shit. I'm using the wrong keyboard. Hold on a second. Yeah. And I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. Go ahead and lurk, Deets. We'll be here. You can listen to my bizarre boomer rants. You're welcome, Deets. Follow Deets if you get the chance, folks. So, that being said, Figure It Out, I'm going to say was really good. But in general, it was kind of can't miss because it was easy to get obsessed with it and play with it and actually play along with the people. But the downside to it, I think I was about to mention, was that the talents were never interesting. They always, I can bite a slice of cheese into the shape of a state. And then they gnaw on a piece of cheese and it's Florida. It's like, anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. Who can't do that? Give him a hard one. Give him Alaska. Give him Hawaii. It's just a bunch of crumbs on a plate. I can kick my shoe off further than anyone on the swing. And I did that once and I hurt my ankle real bad. Go Diego Go. I never watched Go Diego Go. I watched a little bit of it. It wasn't as entertaining as Dora, believe it or not, for me. Rhode Island is just a crumb of cheese. Yep. What square states are there? What square states are there? And that's it. Go Diego Go. I could miss. Gullah Gullah. I could go into really horrid detail about this, but this show is how a lot of people apparently found out that their parents weren't nice people. And I can say I am on that list. That being said, it's kind of traumatizing for me. So I'm just going to say never watched. And yeah. Your mom loved that show because your mom's cool. But I remember Gullah Gullah Island. I wanted to watch Gullah Gullah Island, but I couldn't because my parents were very unsavory people. We'll put it that way. I don't know what the hell this says. That looks like the Hey Arnold. That kind of looks like the Hey Arnold logo. Kind of. I think it is, because I don't see Hey Arnold on here anywhere else. That looks like Hey Arnold. So I'm going to say Hey Arnold is a must-watch. That being said, Hey Arnold is not what people remember it being. I do want to say that a lot of people are like, man, I loved Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold is probably one of the best on here. Interesting. You think that Hey Arnold's the best. Hey Arnold is not what a lot of people remember it being because they remember the first season. They remember when it was a really calm, chill show about like inner city kids just kind of living their lives and stuff. By the final season of Hey Arnold, around the time the movie came out, it was weird. It was a very weird show. Like, kind of like bordering on Simpsons humor. And it was not very chill. It was not a chill show anymore. But I still liked it. I liked it. I liked the humor. One of the best shows. Yeah. Hey, dude. Didn't watch much of the first season, so exactly. You see a lot of people... So that means you enjoyed the weird episodes. That means... Which is what I did. I like the weird episodes. Does anybody remember Hey Dude? Anybody? Hey Dude was a show about a cast of characters living on a dude ranch, like for tourists and summer camp kids and stuff. And it was basically just like their lives, the young people working there and stuff. And I liked Hey Dude. I remember the the theme song is the thing. That's what I love the most. It's a little wild and a little strange, or when you make your home out on the range. Start your horse and come along, but you can't get it right if you can't hold on. Singing a yippee-ki-yay, a yippee-ki-yay. I remember that so much. And I remember the episodes too. They were very, very intense, a lot of them, the trouble they would have to get into. So you will say if this list was Cartoon Network, then you would have much more to say. Interesting. Maybe we should try that in the future. Cartoon Network, because I didn't watch a lot of Cartoon Network. I watched Cartoon Network around the time like maybe Johnny Bravo showed up and Foster's Home and stuff like that. But a lot of the cartoons they're called, I missed out on. But Hey Dude was really good. Come at me. I loved Hey Dude. iCarly. iCarly is when I learned to dislike Nickelodeon. You will join me for that stream? Excellent. Cool. We'll try that. iCarly is when I kind of learned to dislike Nickelodeon. I watched a lot of iCarly, actually. But, it was when I kind of snapped and was like, this ain't for me. This is not for me. This sense of humor, the Snyder humor, I can't. It's not for me. I'm gonna put I could miss it. Because I don't hate it. It did have its moments, but, like, it's alright. Invader Zim. So I would put Invader Zim in must watch. In fact, I think I will. I'll put it in must watch because I loved Invader Zim, but it was never on, is the thing, because it was so controversial at the time. A lot of people don't remember that. A lot of people who like Invader Zim know it from like Teen Nick and from the DVD releases and things like that. Invader Zim was heavily censored on Nickelodeon. Invader Zim was excellent, I agree. But you haven't seen much of it because it was never on. Nickelodeon purposely would say, oh, Invader Zim on tonight, and then you turn on, it wasn't on because it was being censored, and that sucks that we never really got to see it until later when stuff like Teen Nick came out in the DVD releases and stuff. What in the hell is this? I don't know what this is. This may be another country exclusive, so I'll just put it in never watched. I have no clue what that is. Just Jordan. Never watched it. I don't know what that is. Kablam. I loved Kablam. I never missed Kablam. I loved Kablam. Kablam had lots of shorts and skits and all sorts of stuff. Basically pilot episodes that remained pilots forever and ever. And then they would release maybe 8 or 9 more pilot episodes to play inside of it in shorts. The best part, of course, was Action League Now. Those were the best. I loved Action League Now. I loved Action League Now. I actually liked, what was her name? Loopy, right? Loopy, the little stop motion girl. I loved Loopy. I loved Loopy. What else? Sniz and Fondue. Sniz and Fondue is really good. Sniz and Fondue should have been its own show. I'm gonna say that. I loved Sniz and Fondue. I know they attempted to make Action League Now a show, but they did the worst thing they possibly could have done with it. They just took the old shorts from Kablam and they redubbed them, and it was awful. It wasn't as funny anymore. And yeah. But yes, I loved Kablam. Must watch. Must watch Kablam. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Will you get the head? Will you get head? I mean, sorry, that's a giant rock head joke. To the shrine of the Silver Monkey. Legends of the Hidden Temple. This was intense. This was an intense ass show. And here's the thing. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this for a moment. And I know the response to this is always base older brother. Hold on a second. I had to drink some water. So when this show debuted, another show your mom loved watching too? Cool. See, your mom has good taste. When this show debuted and they were showing previews for it, they showed, like, in it, when you would go into the obstacle courses, there was always a chance, like, a native, I'm Native American, I can say this, a native would grab you and then you lose automatically. Like, they would just pop out of a wall and grab you. And my brother would look at me sinisterly, and he'd say, you know, I heard about this show. When they catch you, they actually kill you. They actually kill the kids on this show. It's real. So the contestants on the show, when they get captured by the natives, they'll actually kill you. And as a kid, I don't remember what my reaction was. I may have just kind of like brushed it off. As a little kid, I definitely was like, oh my God, what if? What if that was a thing? I highly doubt, I was like, whoa. But I later found out, so it's a joke. Obviously, my brother was lying because he's an older brother, and that's what older brothers do to freak people out. Your brother would have annoyed you when you were younger. Yes, my brother was very annoying when I was younger, but I was annoying too, so. I later found out a lot of people have that same story, actually. Have that same story of people, of either fellow school kids or their older brother telling them, you know, the kids really die on that show. And it's just something older brothers do, apparently. And that was cool to actually find out I wasn't alone in that. Speaking of which, Hey Arnold. Hold on a second. I'm going to put Legends of the Hidden Temple in must watch because I always watch. If this was on, I watched it. Neko's brother is a great guy. You know him personally, and just so people know, yes, he's cool. He's a very cool person. So Hey Arnold. I want to talk for him. I know we already talked about Hey Arnold. I remember not the day that Hey Arnold debuted. I remember a special presentation on Nickelodeon. So back in the 90s, there was a segment on Nickelodeon every weekday afternoon. It was called Nick in the Afternoons. Nick in the Afternoon, hosted by Stick Stigley. He was a little popsicle stick with googly eyes. And they would have these segments where he would spin in a circle, like Twister, and he would land on a dial, and it would say what we're gonna watch next. And it was always random. It was never pre-planned, it seemed. Like, you could look in the TV guide and all it would say was Nick in the Afternoon. It would never say what the show was. One day, he landed on a question mark. And it said, we're about to show a super secret debut sample of our brand new Nicktoon, Hey Arnold. And we had heard about Hey Arnold, that it was going to be debuting in a few weeks. But they were going to show a sneak preview, completely unannounced. And what they did was, they showed the pilot episode. They showed the pilot episode, which was the one where Arnold is about to be bullied by Harold, the big bully. And he convinces him not to by acting crazy, quote unquote, and smashing plates over his head and stuff. And Harold decides, you're cool, actually. I don't want to beat you up. And that's the end. And it was a pilot episode. It was animated differently. It looked, well, the clothes looked different. Everybody's color palette was different. And the lines were different. They were recorded differently. And I think there was a different voice for Arnold. But after it aired, so the day this happened, I got off of school early because I went to a different school than my brother. And when he got home, I told him, dude, they showed a sample of Hey Arnold. I got to see an early episode of Hey Arnold. And he just looks at me and goes, no, you didn't. And I was like, what? Yeah, I did. No, you didn't. You're lying. Nope. You didn't watch an episode. I was like, but I did. This happened and this. Nope. Nope. You're lying. It didn't happen. Just shut up. And forever and ever, like every time that episode would air, the official episode where the colors were swapped and it had new voice takes and stuff, I'd be like, this was the episode, bro. This was the episode. And he was like, nope, didn't happen. Then you realize later in life, other people did too. Yep, that's the end of the story. I actually found out other people experienced that. Other people experienced their friends at school or their older brothers or sisters coming home and telling them about it and being told, nope, you didn't. You're lying. You're lying. Prove it. Prove it. And they couldn't prove it. And that's what happened to me. Pardon me. So I actually felt very vindicated later in life, finding out, wow, a lot of people went through this. A lot of people went through this trauma. Anyway, Little Bill, never watched it. Hated it. I hated the look of it. It was like South Park for little kids. And I don't even want to go into detail about why it's disturbing now. It's even more disturbing now. Drake and Josh, never watched it. Never appealed to me. Mr. Meaty. I know that it's out there as like one of the most disgusting shows ever made. It's basically these rubber puppets who work at a restaurant, and they're just disgusting teenagers who put boogers and zits in people's food and stuff. I never watched it. It was never on TV enough for me to watch. So, My Brother and Me. My Brother and Me was a good example of there's nothing else on, so I'm watching it. I never liked My Brother and Me. I never liked My Brother and Me. I never liked the characters. The characters were horrible to each other. I couldn't stand this show sometimes just because the brother and his nasty bully best friend would pick on the little brothers all the time. They were awful. The people were awful in this show. Like, I would never want to be friends with these people. And like, it wasn't very good. It was one of those shows I could miss. If it was on, I'd watch it because I was bored. My Life as a Teenage Robot. This is when I started realizing, boy, Nickelodeon has a lot of shows about girls. Like, they have no shows that have boys in them anymore, unless it's like Jimmy Neutron, who's always getting foiled and treated like a dummy. And like, I never watched it. it just wasn't for me, it felt like. So, you remember this one, but never saw it. People said that you would like it, but you were rebellious in nature. I never liked My Life as a Teenage Robot. I gave it a shot a few times, but I couldn't get over the fact that, man, it'd be cool if like they had a boy in this role, and like, because I grew up on Doug is the thing. Doug was like a sensitive kid. He was a sensitive boy character, and I related with him. I didn't relate with like Sheen and stuff like that from Planet Sheen. Like, he was a nasty little kid. I didn't relate with the boys from the Meatly, or not the Meatly from Mr. Meat. The Meatly. Sorry, the Meatly. You make some great games. Sorry about that. The Naked Brothers band, never watched it. Never watched it. Ned's Declassified, never watched it. I know that's like a staple for a lot of young people. Like, Ned's Declass, that was my youth, man. Nickelodeon Guts. Nickelodeon Guts. Here's the thing. I love Nickelodeon Guts. Be right back. Okay, no problem. Rugrats is the other best show on the list. All right. We'll get there. I like Nickelodeon Guts, but it was kind of frustrating to watch because the kids were so talentless. Like, I'm sure, put yourself in that situation and you're gonna freeze up, and you're not gonna be able to run as fast as you think you are. You're not gonna be able to climb things as fast as you think you are. But a lot of those kids, gosh darn, you were like, what are you doing on the show? That being said, also, the host annoyed the hell out of me. I was like, this guy's annoying. And then you later find out he hated it. Mike O'Malley was his name. He hated being on that show, apparently. So, yeah. I'm gonna put, for Guts, I would watch it. I would watch it a lot, so I'm gonna put really good. I'm gonna put really good. I do not know what Nick Jr. Rocks is. I'm going to assume that was never shown in America because America had a huge sway to not showing anything rock or metal related in America. So I'm assuming this was a for another country exclusive. Noah Knows Best. What is Noah Knows Best? That sounds familiar is the thing. Hold on a second. Noah Knows Best. I know Nickelodeon got into the habit of just renaming shows a lot. Like, if there was like a show about a band of brothers in any way, it was called The Brothers So-and-so. Like, they had The Brothers Tiki, The Brothers Flub, The Brothers Garcia. They had several shows like that, so I may be thinking of something else. Noah Knows Best. Noah Knows Best. What the hell is this? It looks English. I'm gonna say the characters in it look English. I don't know why. They look very English. Tell me this. These people look very English. This does not look familiar. This may have been for another... This may have been for another country, possibly. Interesting. I guess we'll find out. But I'm going to have to put that on... I'm going to have to put that on Never Watched, because I do not remember that at all. No one knows best. What the hell is this? I don't know what this is. SWAT? Was there a show called SWAT on Nickelodeon? I don't remember. I'm just gonna put it in never watched. Planet Sheen. Holy moly. Holy. Planet Sheen. So Planet Sheen is a spin-off of Jimmy Neutron. And it is possibly one of the worst shows I've ever watched in my life. I hate saying that because actually I didn't quite mind the character Sheen in small doses because he was just so out there weird. I'm going to say Planet Sheen is horrid. Planet Sheen was bad. I never liked Planet Sheen. Planet Sheen was bad. So here's where I get crucified. Rocket power. So automatically I have a prejudice against rocket power because it was constantly put on lists of best 90s Nicktoons. Constantly. And the truth of the matter is, this was barely a 90s cartoon. This came out in like late 1999, I believe. I certainly don't remember it in the 90s. I remember it mainly from the 2000s. That being said, like, I couldn't stand the animation. I couldn't stand the music. I couldn't stand the characters. I couldn't stand the directing style. It was not my cup of tea. I gave it a shot multiple times. It was Klasky Chukpo, which is the studio that made it. Klasky Chukpo without Chukpo. It was a husband and wife team, and this was after they divorced, and the whole dynamic of all their shows was just ruined. And I'm going to say horrid. I never liked Rocket Power. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for anybody who loves Rocket Power. I never liked Rocket Power. Rocko's Modern Life. Holy. Again, I remember the day this debuted. I want to put something out there right now. And this doesn't matter to anyone. This doesn't matter to anyone but me, but I'm going to say it. There is this error, ERROR, out there that lists off episodes of Rocko's Modern Life in order. It lists them off, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. You can go on Wikipedia, I believe. I haven't checked it out, so maybe I shouldn't say this. But you can go on a lot of official wikis and lists that list off episodes of Rocko's Modern Life as they were released. And all of them have it wrong. I want to put that out there. They're wrong. And the reason why they're wrong is because of a DVD release. The first Rocko's Modern Life DVD release accidentally put in the discs backwards and list the episodes backwards. And now, for some reason, that is people's official list of the release of Rocko's Modern Life episodes. They weren't released in that order. And I'm apparently the only one who ever noticed this. But it's never changed. It's weird. But I remember the day Rocko's Modern Life debuted. I remember it, and we were very excited, and it was great. I love Rocko's Modern Life. They need to give Rocko another chance, I believe. It's a must-watch. And also screw Nickelodeon for screwing over Jim Murray, who made Rocko's Modern Life, with the Rocko's Modern Life movie. Because you're a bunch of transphobic pieces of shit, is why. There, I said that. I have no clue what the hell this is. I don't know what this is. We'll save Rugrats for last. Salute Your Shorts. Nobody remembers Salute Your Shorts. I remember Salute Your Shorts. I loved Salute Your Shorts. Salute Your Shorts was a live action show about these kids at a summer camp. And just basically just very quirky kids and a bully, of course. Played by Danny Pinsky, actually. No, not Danny. What was his? Danny Kutsky. Kutsky was his name, I believe. He was like the voice of Dave the Barbarian and stuff. Montana Max from Tiny Toons. But I loved this show, and people hate this show to the point where anytime there's a list of people going into detail about like all these shows, they're like, Salute Your Shorts, less said the better, and then they just skip over it. Like, I love Salute Your Shorts. I love Salute Your Shorts. That's a must watch. I love Salute Your Shorts. SpongeBerto. Oh my goodness. Hola, SpongeBob. Hola, Patrice. SpongeBob. I think I've gone into detail about this. I remember the day SpongeBob debuted. And it wasn't for me. I was like, this is some yellow submarine stuff. This ain't for me, bro. Did I have any inkling that it would become the biggest thing in the world? Literally to the point where it would become the zeitgeist of humanity. Like anytime somebody says something, like the president of the United States could literally walk out on the front the White House lawn and be like, wee woo, wee woo, and everybody be like, whoa, we get it. I had no clue. But that being said, I gave it a shot and it still wasn't for me. Let's put, I could miss it. I have a lot less animosity towards SpongeBob. Like growing up, I would be like, damn it, why do people like this? It's so dumb. I don't like it. But as I've grown up, I'm like, okay, you got me. It's silly. It's silly. It's no less silly than anything I ever watched. But the thing is, I was a hard ass at that time. So like I was watching like Beavis and Butthead and South Park and The Simpsons. So I wanted like more grown-up comedy, and SpongeBob just wasn't it for me. So I put it in I could miss it. Tiana. What was Tiana? Was that the show about the little Latin girl who wanted to become a superstar? And it was actually really shitty because it actually gave kids this idea you're nothing if you're not famous. Hold on a second. Tiana. TV show. I think it is. Because I remember Shakira was in an episode. Yeah, I think it is Tiana. And I always just remember the really crummy entrance music. And she's like, I always had dreams of being a star. And it was like, girl, you don't need to be a star. You're cool. Why? And you got a great family. Why are you wanting to do this? Anyway, fake person who doesn't exist. Hold on a second. Where the hell am I? Oh, sorry. I'm getting my stuff mixed up here. All right. Tiana. Could miss it. Could miss it. Wasn't my thing. Toki. The video game Toki? Really? That had a show on Nickelodeon? Never watched it. Never watched it. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Zlax! Zlax! Welcome, Zlax. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to my boomer rants. Hold on a second. Boop. Hopefully that works. Oh, I burped. Sorry. We're just doing a tier list right now of old Nickelodeon shows. And yeah. Some of them I don't know. Some of them I highly doubt anybody who knows me would know. But yeah. I have gone on many a rant and rave with all of this so far. So it'll be kind of interesting. You're welcome. You're welcome for the shout out. See? But Jimmy Neutron. So this was when I was just about saying, like, I think I'm a little too old for some of this. Jimmy Neutron was silly to the max, but to the point where it actually got kind of annoyingly silly. And I didn't like the dynamic of the characters as a thing. I thought Jimmy deserved to be more of a Frasier kind of character where he's too smart for his own good and, you know, sometimes it'll blow up in his face. Rather than that, it just turned into him and the girl fighting all the time, and I hated it. And his friends were kind of annoying at times, but, like, there was too much power dynamic in the show where, like, I don't know, I didn't like that girls always one-upped the boys in it, and it just kind of got to the point where it's like, man, this is a very one-sided show. Like, Jimmy is treated like crap in this show. So I know there's episodes I've missed of this, but I'm gonna put I could miss it. Pete and Pete. Who remembers Pete and Pete? For real though. Because Pete and Pete is awesome. If you have not watched Pete and Pete, I'm telling you, it's so hard to describe this show. Yo, Danny Phantom is good. Let me tell you about Danny Phantom. Why Danny Phantom is, where the hell did I put Danny Phantom? Oh, here it is. And never watched. So Danny Phantom is only there because I just didn't like the animation. That is how fickle of a little kid I was simply because I don't like this animation. Like, it seems really stunted, and, like, the character designs are weird, and I don't like. And this is coming from a kid who watched, like, Ben 10. If you remember, like, Ben 10 and stuff like that. Like, I never really liked Danny Phantom's animation, but that wasn't the biggest turnoff. The biggest turnoff was that the creator of Danny Phantom was a jerk in real life, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew he was a jerk, but it didn't come out until only maybe about 5 or 6 years ago just what a jerk he was in real life. But yeah, he was always kind of a jerk, and I was like, I don't think I want to watch anything made by this guy. It was made by the same guy who made Fairly Odd Parents. Yes. And he made a show called Tough Puppy, I believe, as well. I don't see that on here. He made another show called Tough Puppy, which was actually really good. Hell, oh, sorry. Let me allow that. Yeah, he is a jerk. Yes. And the thing is, even as a little kid, you could recognize that. In interviews and stuff like that they would do with him, he was a jerk. Like, you could tell. Of course, I was just a little kid, but, like, sad, really, because the shows were good, but he was, well, you know, exactly. Something happened. Actually, here's the thing. There is rumor. Not real, folks. It's a rumor. This isn't official. He stole a lot of his ideas from other people. He stole a lot of his ideas from some of his co-workers, including Seth MacFarlane, but we won't get into that. Yeah. He wasn't a very nice person, and he has proved to not be a nice person for the rest of his life, so. Pete and Pete, as I was saying, It's so hard to describe this show. That would suck if it were true, yes. So that's why I'm not going to put it out there. I'm not going to, well, I already put it out there, but I'm not going to say I agree. I'm not going to say it's official, but yeah, there is a lot of rumor that he stole a lot of stuff from his friends. But they're just not coming forward about it because they're very professional and they know, they see what has happened to him is the thing. He doesn't need any more outcasting because he's outcasted himself enough. Pete and Pete, must watch. I'm going to say it. Live action show, very out there sense of humor, just about the quirky, weird world. The quirky, weird world of these kids living in this northern town, this northern, right on the border of Canada town. Okay, you're back. Welcome back, Domino. Pete and Pete. I love Pete and Pete. It is so out there. It is so weird. You have to watch it. If people have never watched it, it's really cool. I love Pete and Pete. And I love the entrance music too. It's kind of strange. You're looking happily deranged. Okay, now that you're back, Domino. Now that you're back, we're going to do Rugrats. So I know Domino would probably prefer Rugrats be put into must watch. But this is my list. And I'm going to do this. Really good. Rugrats is a 50-50 experience because Rugrats was great in its first few seasons. Then, as I said about Rocket Power, Rugrats was weird for you. Some episodes were good, some were meh. So, that is how I feel, but I actually know precisely what I like and what I don't like with Rugrats. Rugrats was best in your opinion. It wasn't without its flaws, for sure. Interesting. When the studio Klaksky Chukpo broke up, it was taken over by one person. And they wanted to completely revamp Rugrats. They hated the dynamic of the Rugrats. They thought it was too rude. They thought that it was too grown up. They hated the character Angelica. They hated Angelica. So they decided to babyfy. It's funny. It's a show about Rugrats, and it's a show about babies, but I'm getting so bent out of shape about it because it wasn't so grown up anymore. It became a show for little kids to the point where it was just lame. And I'll actually tell you when the jumping off point was. It was the Hanukkah episode, the Hanukkah special, not the Passover episode. Passover episode was amazing. I love the Passover episode. The Hanukkah episode introduced a new animation style and a new character designs and all around just new character traits. And like, yeah, the later seasons weren't as good. Yeah, the later seasons were bad. I couldn't watch it anymore. I hated it. I hated the Rugrats. And it sucked because it was one of my favorites. It was like one of my first, can't miss this. I can't miss this show. It's amazing. It is so cool. And then the change happened and it was never the same. It was never the same. And the thing that sucked was nobody noticed. Like, it was just me. It was just my picky ass, my uppity ass getting upset about things as a little kid. But yeah, I'm going to put really good. Rugrats, really good. Amanda Show. Never liked the Amanda Show. And I know that's a sin. Hold on a second. I always forget I got to skip through this for the... I know this is a sin for a gay boy. I am gay, and this is a sin to say this. The Amanda Show Also, you had an odd experience of seeing the Jimmy Neutron movie before the show. Not really liking the show. You're supposed to, believe it or not. You're supposed to watch the movie before the show. They look different. The characters are completely different, but yeah, you are supposed to watch the movie before the show. Every fellow gay boy out there loves the Amanda Show. They love the Amanda Show. Amanda. Miss me with that. Miss me with that, baby. I do not like the Amanda Show. I never liked the Amanda Show. It was so stupid. It was Snyder stupid. Let's put it that way. It was Snyder stupid. Your cousins used to watch the Amanda Show a lot. If you were forced to watch it, I feel bad. I apologize. I never liked the Amanda Show. It was not for me. Let's put it that way. It was not for me. You had to watch it when they did. Oh my God. I never had that. Oops, sorry. I never had that luxury. I never had the luxury of being able to force my cousins or younger siblings or anybody down and say, we're watching what I want to watch. I never had that. I was the youngest in the family, and yeah, I never got to watch what I wanted, so I feel you. I feel you there. The Angry Beavers. Angry Beavers suffered from kind of what Rugrats suffered from, where the first seasons were amazing. They were really great. You agree completely, just saying. You were the oldest in your family, though, weren't you, Domino? So you got to make the rules. Angry Beavers had a great first few seasons, and then the last ones weren't very good. But I would still watch them. I loved Angry Beavers. I loved Angry Beavers. They were so silly. It was so silly. I'm going to put Angry Beavers... Oh, that's hard. Angry Beavers were good until... Until... Finish your food, Zelax. Until... Hold on a second. I'm going to put them back down here until Zelax tells me. Angry Beavers were good until... If you're going to say what I think you're going to say... Later seasons. Oh, okay. Later seasons. I thought you were going to say Stump. The character Stump ruined Angry Beavers for me. I hated those episodes. I hated the episodes with Stump. He was just a tree stump with a smiley face on it. That's a story with most shows, yeah. I'm going to say really good. Angry Beavers is really good. Yeah. The Backyardigans. Ooh, Stump. Yep. The Backyardigans. I didn't grow up with the Backyardigans. I was a little too grown up. But I still loved, like, Nick Jr. I loved kid shows. I loved JoJo's Circus, and I actually liked Dora and stuff like that. I'll actually tell you why I hated the Backyardigans. Because when you had shows, and actually it's weird, because I thought the Backyardigans was Disney. That's very interesting. Your younger sister liked the Backyardigans. So, the absolutely terrible opening theme song. It's not just the theme song, Domino. When you had shows like the Wonder Pets, which strangely the Wonder Pets isn't on this list. The Wonder Pets was amazing. I loved the Wonder Pets. I recorded the Wonder Pets whenever it was on so I could binge watch it. When you had shows like the Wonder Pets where it had kids singing music, basically, it's a new song every episode. And you have these obviously kind of untrained kids singing this music. It's fun, it's cute, it's enduring. And then you have a show like the Backyardigans, where it is auto-tuned. It is auto-tuned to hell and back, to the point where it literally feels like razors in your ears.
We're your back friends in the backyard, and yes.
And it just, oh my God. It's a creative concept. You know, kids using their imagination, and it's a new story every week. That's pretty cool. And it takes a lot of work. Gosh darn. The music ruined it for me. I couldn't stand the Backyardigans music. The music always got on your nerves, yes. It was so piercingly auto-tuned. I really didn't like it. I didn't like the Backyardigans. So I'm going to put them in horrid. I have no clue what this is. What is this? GA. You know what I just realized? The Wild Thornberries isn't on the... Oh, there they are. Wild Thornberries. Okay. What the hell is this? Concept was okay story-wise, but the music was bad. Yes. Unwatchable for that reason alone. I don't know what the hell this is. So I'm just going to put it in I never watched. Fairly Odd Parents. I'm not going to put them in horrid. I'm not going to put it in horrid. Because that's being mean. I didn't like the creator. The creator was not a nice person. And I knew that even when I was a kid. But there was also the fact that Timmy Turner, again, a show until later seasons. I've heard that. I have heard that it should have ended like a decade ago, apparently. They're still making episodes, I think. And it's not like SpongeBob, where like it just has the same formula. Yeah, plus bad creator, yep. Jimmy kind of got on my nerves that, Timmy Turner got on my nerves that he was just such a kind of unlikable kid too. And to a lot of people that's relatable though, that he was just a doofus. And a lot of kids do see themselves as a doofus. But I'm going to put Fairly Odd Parents in Could Miss It for me. For me personally, this is my tier list. Timmy was a brat. Timmy was a filthy brat. The Mighty Bee. I've never watched The Mighty Bee, actually. It has that animation. It has that 90s Nicktoon animation, even though I think it is rather new. I will say the opening song is excellent. Cool fact, the opening song is actually just A Friend Like Me from Aladdin. Listen to it. It's literally just A Friend Like Me from Aladdin. Yada da ba ba, yada da ba ba. Give it a listen. I've never watched The Mighty Bee, but I've heard good things. I've heard good things about The Mighty Bee. Never watched The Mighty Bee either. Yeah. I think Oh Yeah Cartoons was sort of like the later generation's Kablam. I never watched it. I never watched Oh Yeah Cartoons. What is that? Penguins of Madagascar. That came out the same time as like Planet Sheen and Back to the Barnyard. I never watched it. I never watched Penguins of Madagascar. I know it's a spin-off as well. It's a spin-off of the Escape to Madagascar movies or whatever. That was pretty good. Penguins of Madagascar, really? I've never watched it, so I'm going to have to put it in never watched. But I have heard good things. And like I said, good things about Mighty Bee. Yeah, that's the movie they're from. Oh. Not really good, but had some really good moments. That's kind of how I felt about, like, about Jimmy Neutron, honestly. Was that it had good moments. Yeah, Jimmy Neutron right there. Had good moments. The Ren and Stimpy show. Oh, Lord. You want to talk about a show that could not exist today. Like a lot of memes were born from it. From penguins? From penguins? Really? Interesting. I didn't know that. Of course, I'm not up on the memes. I'm not hip to the memes. So Ren and Stimpy was one of the grossest, most violent, most adult shows on Nickelodeon, and I remember when it debuted and being a really, really little kid and just being like, whoa, I can't believe they can show that. I don't care what anyone says. Ren and Stimpy would get canceled so hard nowadays. Dog, I wonder if they have it on YouTube. I'm not going to show it because I might get copyright flagged actually. But yeah, just some of the things they would do, especially in later episodes after John Kirkvaluski, the creator, left or was fired. When John Kirkvaluski left, they did some wild episodes. Like, they just went out of their way to be as disgusting as possible. It was out during the perfect time, yes. And actually, I'm going to jump ahead here. These two shows, the Ren and Stimpy show and the Wild Thornberrys, are actually a perfect example of two splits in time. And I will tell you what that split was, here in America anyway. The Ren and Stimpy show ended as soon as the Wild Thornberrys debuted because of the Clinton administration. Former President Bill Clinton created an initiative for children's programming here in America that all children's programming, which counts cartoons in general, so it doesn't matter how grown up a cartoon is, has to have at least 5 to 10 minutes of educational programming within the show. And rather than find a way, some mythical, magical way to turn Ren and Stimpy into an educational show, they said, screw it, we're done. We're done. Ren and Stimpy is over. And that's the end of Ren and Stimpy. But it was the birth of things like the Wild Thornberrys, and to an extent, Hey Arnold, to an extent, SpongeBob even, because kids were learning about sea life and stuff like that. To an definite extent, Jimmy Neutron, because he would use actual mathematics and science to solve his problems. Wild Thornberrys, lots of wildlife education stuff. But it was the death of shows like Rocko's Modern Life and Pete and Pete and what are some other shows I'm not seeing here? Yeah. But yeah, that's why Ren and Stimpy ended, unfortunately. There was no way you could make such a disgusting show educational. But Ren and Stimpy is a must-watch. Wild Thornberrys. So Wild Thornberrys, a lot of people, I know they find it boring now. Wild Thornberrys was actually kind of exciting for me. I really liked Wild Thornberrys. I loved her dad. Her dad was so cool. I wanted him to be in like every episode constantly. Like, I would have liked it if it was just about him. It was just about Nigel. Nigel Thornberry. Hello, I'm Nigel Thornberry. Look how slowly I move. I'm a sloth. I loved Wild Thornberrys, actually. Yeah, the dad was the best. Nigel, yeah. Couldn't stand her sister. I didn't like Debbie. Debbie Downer. Eliza was a likable character. I'm going to put that out there right now. I really liked Eliza because she was so nerdy. She was an unapologetic nerd who just loved animals. And you can't make something like that anymore. It's always about, I want to be cool. But then I learned in the end, being cool isn't so important. So Debbie was pretty bland. She was a nasty teenager. Here's the thing. If they remade Wild Thornberrys, it would star Debbie. That's the big issue. Without Tim Curry, the show would be boring, honestly. Ooh, hot take. But yes, I love Tim Curry. I love Nigel. But if the Wild Thornberrys was ever remade, it would star Debbie. It would be all about Debbie and her misery and how much she hates the family and how much she hates traveling. And then in the end, kind of finds out, my family's not so bad. And then completely resets by the next episode. Imagine Debbie as the protagonist. No way. Would barf. Yeah.
Can't wait until I get my license to drive. Gonna leave all you losers behind.
I remember that. Agreed, Zelax. Yeah. Wild Thornberrys, I'm gonna say was really good, actually. I know for a fact I watched every episode ever. But strangely, I've never watched the movie. The Wild Thornberrys. Gonna get some food and feed the kitty? All right, you do so. I don't know what the hell this is. It looks like some English guy again. Some weird English people. You know English people. When you see an English person, you know an English person. you know an English person when you see an English. That's so mean. The X's. Who remembers the X's? So, the X's came out around the same time as Cat Scratch. Came out around the same time as Cat Scratch and My Dad the Rock Star. So, they came on at like 7 a.m. in the morning. They basically were a ripoff, and I hate saying ripoff because you never know. They might have had the idea to begin with. It was kind of a ripoff of The Incredibles. It was a family of secret agents rather than superheroes. The big turnoff of this was the animation. The animation was horrible. I understand what they were going for. They were going for like 1960s mod style where it's just like shadows and shapes and like really weird angles and things like that. It was supposed to kind of look like a James Bond opening from the 60s. You remember that one? Didn't watch it. I watched it and it was unwatchable. The characters weren't good. The animation was terrible. And not to mention, it was on at like 7 o'clock in the morning where nobody could watch it. I'm going to put it in horrid, actually. Like, bad. I would not recommend the X's. Jackson. Is that a Percy Jackson show? Did Nickelodeon make a Percy Jackson show? What is this? I wish it would actually say. I don't know what this is. So I'm just going to say never watched. It has the new Nickelodeon logo on it, so it may have been like from the late 2000s, possibly. I don't know what that is. Fabulous. What is this? This has to be after my time as well. Fabulous? Hold on, I'm going to type in fabulous. Let me hop over here real quick. I'm going to type in fabulous Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon. Fabulous. Unfabulous. It was a show called Unfabulous. And the other show was called True Jackson, by the way. They're all live-action shows starring these very beautiful teenagers who are in no way relatable whatsoever. Check this out. Does anybody recognize these people? Like, who are these models? Who are these models that are supposed to represent us as kids? Like, what are you thinking, Nickelodeon? Why put people like this in your shows? There's no kid that can relate to this. This guy has to be like 6'5". Like, what kid is going to relate to that? Yeah, I don't know this one, but yeah. Nickelodeon, quit putting pretty people in your shows. Never watched it. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, so... Welcome Freshmen. Who... Jeepers creepers. You gotta be an oldie but a goodie to remember Welcome Freshmen. Welcome Freshmen is exactly what it sounds like. It's just following a bunch of freshman students around their school. And I remember really liking it, is the thing. I really liked Welcome Freshmen. There was an episode, there was this one like kind of outcast kid. His name was Billy Cushman. I'll always remember that. Billy Cushman. He was just gross. He would blow spit bubbles at people and he'd pick his nose. But the big joke was that he would fart all the time, and he would fart so hard the whole classroom would fill up with smoke. And I always loved this show. And I remember there was an episode where they were playing football and they just sent Billy Cushman out there and he would just run into people and you just hear like he was farting, and it would just knock people over instantly and he'd get a touchdown. I loved Welcome Freshmen. I remember the Vice Principal Lippman. I remember him. I'm going to say a must watch. I loved Welcome Freshmen. And finally, Zoe 101. Never watched it because I didn't want to watch anything that had to do with Britney Spears. Britney Spears' family. Was that Zoe? Hold on a second. I don't want to put that out there. Hold on a second. Zoe 101. That was Britney Spears' sister, right? Zoe 101 cast. Oh my goodness. It is a good thing I did not. Oh my goodness gracious. That is why. Holy crap. That is why I jumped over to Facecam before I pushed search. Because when you look that up, you get naughty naughties. Holy. Yeah, Jamie Lynn Spears was Zoe 101. Holy crap. My heart just fell out of my sphincter. That was... Oh, dang. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful, folks. That is why I jump over to Facecam like that whenever I do a search. Because of that. That was horrible. And I am so glad. So, just in case anybody out there that ever happens, do not be shocked when I just shut down stream real quick, because I'm going to shut down stream and delete the VOD as quickly as possible when that happens. Hopefully that'll help. Hopefully that'll help me not get banned. Holy crap. That is... Why is Safe Search not on, for one thing, on my search engine? I know I had Safe Search on. But, yeah. Anyway! Yay! It's my tier list. So, let's go through this. Must watch. Clarissa Explains It All. Loved it. Doug. Loved it. Keen and Kel. Hey Arnold. Invader Zim. Kablam. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Rocco's Modern Life. Salute Your Shorts. Ren and Stimpy. Pete and Pete. And strangely, I was not expecting this, Welcome Freshmen. I was not expecting for that to be on there. we'll skip these, but we'll go to really goods. Invader Zim is top tier, agreed. I just wish it was on more. They hardly ever showed it because Nickelodeon was purposely trying to make it fail because they didn't like the creator of it. All Real Monsters. Oh, 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowell. Really cute one. If nobody remembers that, check it out. It's really cute. All Real Monsters was okay. Alex Mack was okay. I like that it had an actual arcing storyline. As Told by Ginger deserved better. It got the Invader Zim treatment, where they just didn't like the creator. They thought it was too grown up, and they just purposely stunted it. Cat Dog, entertaining when it had to be, but then almost unwatchable when it couldn't be. You're back. You heard something happened earlier. I almost showed Naughty Naughties. Almost. And I am so glad I am in the habit of jumping over to Facecam before I do searches. So, Dora the Explorer. I actually really love Dora the Explorer. I mainly love Swiper the Fox. He's really cute. Eureka's Castle. Very short-lived, but really cool puppet show. Jim Henson kind of puppet show. Figure It Out. Great game show, especially when you play along at home. Hey Dude. Nobody remembers it, but it's just a bunch of farmhands living on a dude ranch. Nickelodeon Gutch. It was good because it was entertaining. It was kind of my foray into actually understanding, oh, this is why people like sports, huh? Rugrats. Half of it good, half of it bad. Angry Beavers. Almost the same. Half good, half bad. Wild Thornberries. You know, you're going there. Must watch. I always watch Wild Thornberries. I need to quit kidding myself. We'll skip all of these. Horrid. All grown up. Horrible. Do not watch. Do not watch. Especially if you have any respect for the Rugrats characters in any way, shape, or form. No. Planet Sheen. Just insanity for the sake of insanity. Featuring probably the most annoying character on all of Jimmy Neutron. So, Rocket Power. Terrible animation. Terrible characters. Terrible directing. Terrible music. I hated Rocket Power. I'm sorry. Amanda Show. Too stupid. 5 me. Backyardigans. Razors in the ears. The X's. Terrible to look at. Just terrible to look at. An eyesore. And then all the never watched. And some of the never watched are actually things like this, where I don't even know what the heck it is. So, like, you know, what the hell am I going to do? Anyway, this is my tier list. And that's it. So, I don't stream again until Sunday. I'm thinking I may actually do Akinator, possibly on Sunday. We'll see. Possibly. I don't know. Possibly. Let's go ahead and hop over here real quick. See if anybody's on. Anybody? Next time the Cartoon Network list, you'll join me. Okay. I'll have you on. I think you deserve it. So, Karage Kai is on right now, and he is streaming indie horrors. So, I think I want to hop over there real quick. So, let me go ahead and do some zoomies here real quick. Zoomy. Hi, how's it going? I am Nekotomoton. I'm a cyborg Neko. I am programmed to make music and play video games. I am a variety streamer. I stream retro and modern games and occasionally record and compose music live on stream. So I really appreciate everybody being here. Thanks everybody for joining me. We're probably going to hop on over to Kai right now. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, Z. And thank you, Deets, as well, if you're still lurking. We're going to go ahead and hop on over there right now. Boopity bop, bop, bop. There we go. And I'll be seeing you guys on Sunday. Thanks everybody for showing up and enjoying my bizarre boomer rants about boomer shows nobody remembers. But hey, could be worse. Could be worse. I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye for now. Hold on a second. What the hell am I doing? I didn't push it properly. Oh no. Do not glitch on me, please. Don't do that. Anything but that. Okay, we're good.